big story on India since. Donald Trump is officially the Republican Party candidate for US elections, even as confusion continues about President Biden's candidature. There's growing clamor within the Democrat camp that Biden should make way for a more quote-unquote winnable candidate. But now Donald Trump is an interesting personality. The former president speaks his mind out, some would say even without a filter. And in his 93 minutes long speech, Trump has given a roadmap of what his presidency would look like. And I decode right here what Trump 2.0 would mean for India. First is the immigration. Trump 2.0 presidency will bring in sweeping changes to the present immigration system in America. Trump's rhetoric blurs the distinction between legal and illegal immigrants. But as president, I believe this distinction will be very important, and it's more so for India. In FY 2022, India was the second largest country of origin for green card holders, just behind Mexico. There you can see on your screens. Of the little under 10 lakh people receiving a green card that year, a little over 66, just about 66,000 were from India. And as of now, there are 1.2 million Indians that are waiting in queue to get their green cards, which are complicated due to country-specific restrictions and the low annual quotas that have been put in place. And this figure is set to rise to 2.1 million people by 2030 as per present norms. And if they get any worse, then this number would balloon even more. And I believe under the Trump presidency, the 7% per country quota could probably be revisited, and that could mean longer wait lines for Indians as far as green cards are concerned. Now, illegal immigrants, the part which causes so much of political rhetoric, the part on which elections are actually won and lost in countries like America, that you can see is also an area where Indians do have a fairly large chunk. And that could face a lot of political slugfest and I believe severe action under a Trump's presidency. Add to it the travel ban that aims to discriminate between who can and who cannot enter in America. Now, let me point that out that India does not happen to be in these countries that will be covered under the ban, but it talks about the approach towards immigration in whole as far as Trump 2.0 is concerned. Listen into what he said in that 93-minute long speech where all one heard was immigration, frankly.
At the heart of the Republican platform is our pledge to end this border nightmare and fully restore the sacred and sovereign borders of the United States of America, and we're going to do that on day one. The greatest invasion in history is taking place right here in our country. They are coming in from every corner of the earth, not just from South America, but from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere. They're coming at levels that we've never seen before. It is an invasion indeed, and this administration does absolutely nothing to stop them. And you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country.
So the second impact for India will be on trade. Trump 2.0 will see him coming very hard on his protectionist plank that he spoke about. India's long-pending free trade pact, I believe, could probably take longer to come through if Trump were in the Oval Office. He would insist that India should ensure a complete pass-through of all US manufactured goods and dismantle the tariff structure that we put in place. Now, that is a problem for India because India's domestic industry is not as advanced or as big as some of the developed countries, which means that the mechanism that we have to safeguard some of our interests of the Indian industry cannot be completely overcome and dismantled in one single day, something I believe Trump would make a case for. Now, the bilateral goods and services trade that India and US have is about $118 billion. India runs a trade surplus, which is about $36 billion. But you look at it from Trump's point of view, it means that there's a trade deficit of $36 billion. He would want to cover this up, and he would probably put in place category-specific tariffs. So I believe a lot of protection is in way for Indian industry if Trump 2.0 happens. The third thing is China. That's an area where Trump and his views match what is India's, particularly regarding security and strategic threat that Beijing poses to India, to Asia, and to the world. In fact, it was Trump who recognized the role and importance that India plays in countering China in Asia. And he was the one who renamed the US Pacific Command to Indo-Pacific Command. So there you can see that there is a meeting of minds between India and US under Trump 2.0. That's likelihood as far as dealing with China is concerned. Trump would also impose big tariffs on the Chinese goods that will be coming into America. take a look and listen into what he said with regard to this threat.
We'll end the electric vehicle mandate on day one, thereby saving the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car. And if they don't agree with us, we'll put a tariff of approximately 100 to 200% on each car, and they will be unsellable in the United States. We will not let countries come in, take our jobs, and plunder our nation. They come and do that. They plunder our nation. The way they will sell their product in America is to build it in America. Very simple. Build it in America and only in America. And this very simple formula in Congress has to go along with us, and they will.
Trump would also probably double down on the military posturing in support for Taiwan. This is again very good news for India, since we've always complained that America has not fully understood the threat that we face, Indians face, from China on our land borders. So that, I think, would be a huge plus for India. Now, speaking about Trump in general, as a businessman, Trump is instinctively transactional in his approach. And under his presidency, his first impulse will be to ask every ally, every partner, what is it that they can do for America? What is it that they can get to make America great again? That's the case for Europe, Japan, Australia. I believe India will not fall in that category. For one, India does not have a formal military partnership with America. It also enjoys warm relations with Moscow. It also is the only counter to China, as I said, in Asia, and provides American goods the access that they need, a very large growing market. So Trump would not like to topple that apple cart, and he may have to curb his instincts when he is dealing with India. And I believe that India-US relations, they have a significant momentum now, and they're going to be agnostic to who really comes as the next occupant in Oval Office. But some of India's interests will be impacted under Trump 2.0 as well, like the Chabahar port in Iran, which will be hit by fresh US sanctions come Trump in Oval Office, because he's going to go after Iran, and that is an area that India will have to protect on its own.